Tai, the stream is live now and your host back again. You can make me a co-host.
I'm working on it, and now you're co-host, so we're good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Oh. Hi, Patricia and Deborah and Josephina and Mina. Hi, Mina. Didn't see you earlier today. I thought I might see you in Shibashi. Isabel and Zoom user. Hi, Zoom user. Would you care to rename yourself? If you know how, you just hit the three dots in the upper right-hand corner of your square, and you can choose rename and give us a name better than Zoom user. Hi, Francis and Victoria, Joy. We have Kevin with us today as the TA. If you have any technical questions about Zoom or get set up, please reach out to him in chat. If you're trying to rename yourself the way I proposed a minute ago to one user and you have trouble, reach out to Kevin. He'll do whatever he can to help you. Hi, Fabiola. Verna.
It's Pat.
Hi, Weeda. Is it Weeda? O-I-O-U-I-D-A. Is that Weeda? Cute name.
Weeda, yes. How are you?
I got it right. Cool. I'm good. How are you today? Give it a few more seconds and then we'll get started. You're joining me for Tai Chi for beginners. And I see most of you, or a lot of you, have been with me before because I recognize your name or pictures. And a couple of you might be newbies. That's great. Okay, I'm going to switch over and share my slides with you so we can do a little bit of housekeeping to get started. And let me get rid of some of these extra things off the screen. You probably don't need to look at all that. The slides are far more impressive. We're working on a sequence called Sung Style 12 Forms. We've been working on it for a few weeks. It's going to be our staple for a while. My name is Tai. I live in Florida in the US near Orlando. I have an education background in biology, psychology, and computer science. I had a career with several different federal agencies, the DoD and USDA Forest Service, and eventually transitioned over to work at a medical center. And there I was working in IT management. After that, I went into consulting. And for a while, I was a road warrior traveling all over the place. Then toward the end of my consulting career, before I retired, I did most of my work just remotely from home. But I taught a lot of classes. I helped people use their data better, more wisely, understand data structures, programming and reporting, and just tried to help improve their usage. I'm trained and practice Kundalini Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Tai Chi, and Therapeutic Qigong. Today's class is the Tai Chi from my background. And I'm here to guide you through Sung style Tai Chi forms and help you learn a practice. You can either just enjoy it during class, or you can take the knowledge and experience you learned during class and practice it between classes to help build a little bit stronger pattern in your mind, to help you take multiple classes and merge the forms together. But eventually, I hope to help you take the mechanics I teach you in class and delve a little bit deeper and turn it into a meditative practice. On Get Set Up, we are a bunch of seniors teaching each other. We've all got a lot of things we learned in our lifetime, And now we're bringing it to each other and sharing that information so that we can do even more wonderful things. Now, for this class, especially in any class, it's ideal if I can see you so that I can respond to how you're reacting to the class and my instructions. But if you don't want to have your camera on, that's fine. You can leave it off. Maybe in a future class, you'll feel more comfortable about turning it on. There will be a recording, and you can email help@getsetup.io after class, and they'll set you up with that recording if you want to practice between classes using it. If you didn't make it into class today because it was booked up and you're joining by live stream, that is great. But the best way to participate is to join us. So look for future classes and see if you can book one. Tai Chi for beginners is taught almost every day of the week, unless it's one of my days off. Now, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any specific products. The assumption is you've checked with your doctor and been given permission to do a movement practice. I've yet to meet a doctor who doesn't recommend people to do Tai Chi, but you need to make sure that your doctor is okay with it, especially if you have a health condition or you're taking in medications, because your doctor's advice on any restriction you should follow is important. And that should be your number one priority before you listen to anything I suggest you do. In Tai Chi, we're looking to develop more integration of mind and body. We do that with breath and movement to improve our balance. A lot of us come to Tai Chi because we want to improve our balance. And we do that with better posture and more awareness of the body. One of the nice side effects of Tai Chi is the more you practice, you decrease the effects of stress because you're starting to learn how to be calmer in your mind. You're learning how to initiate that relaxation response, and that kicks off a better reaction to stress. Now, slow down, experience life, and enjoy life in the moment. Who wouldn't want that? And overall, be healthier. We want to help the body work more efficiently using gentle movement. Maybe one of these objectives resonates stronger with you than the others. For me, they all hit home very direct. In the Tai Chi, Why It's Great for Seniors, which is really the intro to this course, we study the universal posture, the Wuji form, the commencement, and the open close in detail. We spend a lot more time on just those three postures, but I will be running over those in class today, but more lightly than I do in that class. If you haven't been in Why It's Great for Seniors, I recommend you drop in at least one time. The Sung style 12 forms is broken down into two different groups, and each one of those two groups has a right and a left. So we study four different things: the single whip left and the single whip right, the brush the knee left and the brush the knee right. Today, we're going to review, or if you're new to class, we're going to teach you brush the knee right. So there are other rules other than just your physician rules. And on top of those, there's do only what you're comfortable with. Do only what you're capable of doing. Don't push beyond. Be comfortable in your clothing, something loose, soft. Shoes should be flat, well-fitting unless you're practicing barefooted. And only practice barefooted if you know you're quite stable barefooted and on good, firm ground that you're not going to slide. If you're hungry or you've immediately had a meal, you probably shouldn't practice. But if you do stay in class and you've just had something to eat, go very light. Listen to your body. That's foremost. If it tells you to rest, take a rest. If you feel pain, stop. Stay in your comfort zone for what level of exertion that you're comfortable with, what range of motion, and what length of practice. It'll build over time, so don't worry about pushing it. And move as slowly, continuously, smoothly as you're able. These apply to your practice between classes too, not just in class. Breathe constantly. Don't hold your breath. Make it natural and easy. Use only the minimum of effort necessary to do the movements. Don't put more stress, more tension, more muscular movement into the movement than it's really required. So basically soften and relax the body. And consider the air around you as being a little dense. I like to think of it as a fog, and that fog is a little thick so that when my hands are moving through the air, I'm swimming in that fog, kind of pushing against it and getting a little bit of resistance. It helps slow me down. It helps me turn it into more of a flowing than a mechanical movement. We have guidelines, and I'm not going to go into detail on all 8 of these. We will over time, but today's guideline that we're going to talk about is integrated movement. Now, the head, the trunk, and the pelvis, that's one unit, one column, and it stays together. You don't separate it during these movements. You move the torso, the trunk, and the head as one unit. When you turn left, it's the head and the torso. You move to the right, it's the head and the torso that moves. One complete column, keeping great posture with that torso, that trunk straight up, not leaning over ever. And you keep a stable base in the feet. You always want to be firm on your footing, never off balance. All arm and hand movements are initiated by that upright rotation of this column. That is one of the basis of Tai Chi in general, especially this style of Tai Chi, is keeping that torso straight up, and all movements are initiated from that. No twisting of the spine in this class. We do a little bit of twisting in Tai Chi Shibashi, but in Sung style, no twisting. So now let's do some practice. Standing, seated, or you can stand with a chair nearby for support, whatever serves you best. And maybe wear some indoor shoes, something inexpensive, like some inexpensive deck shoes or tennis shoes. You probably want them clean since you're practicing in-house. There are Tai Chi shoes available online for purchase at Amazon and eBay, maybe $12, what I paid 8 years ago, and have some water handy. Now let's do some practice. I'm going to do some shifting over of things and get ready to get started. Let's see, let's get some music going. I'm going to come standing. If you're doing the practice today standing, go ahead and stand up. Otherwise, stay in your seat, but sit up straight. Oh, need to change cameras. I should be spotlighted for you at this point. There we go. Yep. Let's talk for a minute about Wuji. Universal posture. You just stand up tall. Your feet are about hips width apart, maybe a little wider if you need a little extra space there like I do. Shoulders are right over hips. Kind of lean over to one foot for just a moment. Bring that weight over. Bring the weight over to the right foot or the other foot, whichever way you leaned. Start feeling your balance. Start feeling your weight against the floor. Maybe you can feel all 4 points on the feet against the floor or against Mother Earth. Start breathing with it. Inhale and exhale. Now come back to center. Stand up tall, stretch that spine up, and then relax those shoulders. And relax in the knees. Just go soft. Not really bent in the knees, just a little soft knees, so it's a little spongy. Now this is your universal posture. I call it Wuji. And we always start from Wuji and we always return to Wuji. It's a relaxed form. It's a meditative form. When you breathe in, allow your breath to go down to your belly. When you exhale, you might feel that belly collapsing and pushing the air out. Whatever you consider a slow breath, that's what you should be using. For some of us, that might be a 3-second breath, inhale, and a 3-second exhale. For someone else, it might be 8. We're all different. Whatever's a slow breath for you, allow your body just to relax into that slow breath. Now, commencement pose is what we use to start the entire practice. Not just a sequence, but the practice for the day. We start with commencement pose. I'm going to turn sideways so I can demonstrate it. Find your Wuji. You rotate at the shoulders. The arms are soft. The elbow is slightly bent. The hands drift down from about shoulder level or chest level. They come toward your belly button, and then they come up. Notice how you just sort of drew the letter U. Come back to your Wuji, and let's do that again. You're rotating at the shoulder. Inhale, the hands come up, maybe chest height a little higher, maybe. Exhale, and the hands come down, and start drawing that U. It comes up the chest. Now, while that's going on, you're starting to evaluate where your weight is. So when the hands are first coming up, the weight is in the center between your feet. The hands drift down, but once they start coming up the chest, you start bringing that weight over to your right foot. Let's see if I can get a little more light on my feet. That should help. So let's do that again. Commencement form, rotate at the shoulders. Drop the hands, bring them toward your belly button. As the hands come up the chest, bring your weight to the right foot. When the hands actually make it to the chest now, your weight is mainly on that right foot to the point where you can lift that left foot without effort. So lift it and just reach forward a little bit with the foot and put the heel down and then the toe and bring your weight to the left foot. That's a Tai Chi Safe Step. Let's do that again. So our hands are at our heart center. The weight's on the right foot. Lift the left foot and just put out the heel a little bit. It's not a big step. Bring the weight to the left foot and lean into that left foot. Press a little bit more into the left foot till your weight's there fully, and then bring the right foot up to join it. We just took a complete step. But the way we took that complete step was lean on the right foot, step forward to the left, bring the weight to the left, step up with the right. That's a safe step in full balance. Now let's kind of mix that with the arm movements of commencement. So find your Wuji. Everybody's an expert at finding Wuji now. Stand tall. Feet hips width or a little bit wider apart. Soft knees. Breathing. Commencement is inhale, rotate the arms up. Exhale, the arms come down. They come toward your belly button. Weight to the right foot and step out with the left. Hands come forward. This is new. Bring your weight to the left foot. Step up with the right, and the elbows come down. And that's commencement. Let's do that again. I'm going to stay sideways for you so you can see me from the side. So find your Wuji. Inhale, commencement. Hands come up. Draw U. Weight's going to the right foot as the hands come up the chest. Step out with the left foot as the arms reach forward. Bring the right foot to join the left. Elbows come down and the hands come to heart center. Nice. That's universal posture or Wuji in commencement form. We have one more to cover before we get into the sequence, and that is actually the first form of the sequence too. And it's called open and close. I'm going to step close to the camera. When the hands are at the chest, at the end of commencement form, we do what's called an open close. You separate the hands a little bit, and then you bring them back. It's as though you're holding a ball. In this case, an energy ball. And that energy is swirling, and you're holding it contained in your hands. Soft fingers, soft palms. But you open and kind of pull that force apart, and then you close, bringing the force of that energy ball back together. I inhale, and I stand a little taller. I exhale, and I sink in the knees. The very relaxing sequence. So let's go through that whole sequence, and then we'll get heavier into brush the knee. So find your Wuji. I'm going to turn sideways. Inhale, the arms come up. Remember pushing through a thick fog, getting a little bit of resistance on the arms. Draw the U. As my hands come down, I'm softening in the knees just a little bit. The hands come to the belly button. And as they come up the chest, I've got my weight on the right foot, and I'm stepping out with the left foot. Start reaching forward as I bring my weight to the left foot and bring the right foot to join the left. Elbows down. Open and close. Nice. Now we're going to start the sequence today of brush the knee, but we're going to study it starting at the open and close so that we don't have to do the commencement form every time. So for brush the knee, find your Wuji and just bring your hands to heart center. We're going to start with that open and close. Inhale and exhale. Now brush the knee right. You take the left hand. Now you may be mirroring me. So if you're mirroring me and using your right hand when I say left, that's fine. That doesn't matter because we learn it both ways. So I might be teaching to the right and you might be practicing to the left. That's fine. Just make sure you invert my commands. So for me, I'm going to be doing it to the right, which is that direction. The left hand goes forward and I'm looking at my palm. My left hand just goes forward. I'm in the energy ball or the open and close. My hand goes forward and I'm staring at the back of my palm. So brush the knee right. Left palm goes forward and my weight goes to the left foot. You turn fully to the right. Raise the right foot and take a step. Heel, toe, as though you're making a right hand turn. Let's do that again. And I'm going to teach you a little trick. Before you make that 90-degree turn to the right, since we're going to turn to the right, I'm going to take my left heel and I'm going to turn it out just a little. I'm not sure if you can see it clearly in that floor. Maybe now. I'm going to lift up on my left toe a little bit and turn my heel out, and then turn 90 degrees and put my heel there. So that adjusts my pelvis a little bit. So just pivot on that left toe, step out to the right, small step. So go back and kind of feed that in. So find your Wuji, bring your hands up to the open and close, open and close. Bring your weight to the left foot. The left hand comes forward. I'm looking at that palm and I'm stepping out to the right. As I put the weight on the right foot, the right hand drops down. So it kind of flows like this. Actually, let me show you the whole sequence. I'm going to do the whole brush the knee right. Play the lute. Parry. Parry. Block. Pull back. I'm sorry, punch, block, push the mountain, and return. That's what we're studying today. So let's catch back in. I'll demo it for you with my back to you in just a minute. Open and close. Brush the knee right. Weight to the left foot, left hand forward. Turn to the right, drop the right hand, right foot goes out. Weight goes to the right foot. And this hand that you were staring at has been coming in that whole time towards your face. And then it goes out over that right knee as your weight goes to the right knee. Let me show you that in one smooth operation. So that's what we're going for. So open and close, single, brush the knee right, hand goes forward, left hand in my case, step out to the right, left hand comes in and goes out over the right knee. Now my weight is firmly on that right foot. And while my weight's on that right foot, you may notice right now that your left foot is in an awkward position. So what you do, I'm going to touch the wall for balance. What you do is you lift that left foot and adjust it so it's pointing the same direction as the right foot. In a regular step, you may not need to do what I just did, but as slow as I was doing that while I was explaining it, I need a little extra balance by touching a chair or a wall. So let's come back to Wuji. Open and close, brush the knee right, weight to the left foot, left hand out. Turn to the right, right hand brushes out over the right knee, adjust the left foot. Now bring your weight back on that left foot. Do that again. Open, close, brush the knee right. Weight to the left foot, left hand forward, right hand starts to drop down. Step out with the right foot, left hand goes out, brushes over the right knee. The left foot, you now have come up on the toe. Adjust that foot and bring your weight back down on the heel. And as you come back on the left foot, the right toe comes up. That's kind of a rocking motion. I'm up on my toe and now I'm back on my heel. So that's a Tai Chi rocking motion. We do it in Shibashi a lot. So let's do that again. Open and close. Brush the knee right. Left hand goes forward. Step out to the right. Right hand brushes over the right knee and you come up on your left toe. Adjust that foot. Come back on that left heel and bring the right toe up. So right now, my weight is on my left foot and my right toe is in the air. We're ready to play the lute. Open, close, brush the knee right, left hand forward, turn to the right, weight goes to the right foot, correct the left foot and come back on it. As you come back and the right toe goes in the air, you're going to, this hand currently is facing, the left hand is facing away from you. You're going to turn it sideways and the other hand's going to come up and they're going to pass each other in the air. Let me get a little closer to the camera and show you that. So like, I'm like this with the hand faced away from me. I'm going to turn it and bring the other hand up and they're just going to draw a diagonal. They just go by each other in a diagonal. There's an old, there's an ancient musical instrument called a lute that has some strings. So you're pretending you're playing those strings by strumming them with both hands. Play the lute. So that's all that motion is. The upper hand comes down toward the belly button. The right hand comes up from the belly button and you play the lute. Let's go back to Wuji. We use Wuji a lot. Open and close. Brush the knee to the right. Bring your weight to the right foot. Adjust the left foot and play the lute. So my weight's coming back on my left foot and now that right toe is in the air. That's the end of that rocking motion I talked about earlier. Let me just immediately do that again. I'm on my left toe. I come back on my left heel, play the lute, and my right toe comes up in the air. See, I'm just rocking back and forth. I'm just doing the same play the lute and then going back and doing it again. It's a nice little practice for me to do this, especially with that little rocking motion involved. Okay. After you play the lute, the next form is called parry. Now, play the lute, the hands are facing each other. Trying to get a good picture here. Yeah, the hands are facing each other for play the lute. But for parry, you take that upper hand and you put the palm down toward the floor. So the hand just flips and faces the floor. The other hand, the low one, faces the ceiling. And the low hand goes under the upper hand for a parry. So it's like this. They flip and one goes under the other. Let me get back in position and show you from this angle. I'm going to start at the open and close. Brush the knee. Play the lute. Now, you turn the hands to where the upper hand is facing down below and the lower hand is facing up, and you parry the lower hand under the upper hand. That's a parry. Not sure where that name comes from. The only parry I know comes from fencing, and this isn't fencing. Again, we're kind of playing with that rocking motion. So, open, close, brush the knee right. Weight goes to the left foot, left hand goes out. Step out to the right, brush the knee with that left hand. You're up on the left foot, correct it. Play the lute as you come back on the left foot and the right toe comes up. The right hand faces down, left hand faces up, left hand goes under right to parry. You're coming up on that left toe. So I was like this, and now I'm coming up on that left toe. My weight's on the right foot. So I'm going to lift the left foot and take a step. And I'm going to flip the hands. Whichever one's facing up goes down. The one facing down goes up. And it parries under the other one. The low one always parries under the upper one. And you take another step. So we're kind of walking through the parries. Open and close, brush the knee, step out, play the lute. Left hand goes under right for a parry, take a step. Right hand goes under left, take a step. If you like and you're practicing at home, you can start at one wall and you can just parry, parry. You can just keep walking across the room. Parry, just to practice your parries. You don't have to stop at 2 when you're practicing at home. Now, one of the interesting aspects of the walk with parry is you don't walk with the toes pointing forward. You walk with the toes pointing out just a little bit. I call it duck feet. It's kind of odd. Let me get you there. Open and close. Bring the weight to the left foot. Left hand comes forward, step out to the right and brush the knee. You're up on the left toe. Come back on the left foot as you play the lute. Now, my right toe is in the air. You take that right toe and you turn it out just a couple of inches, just pivoting on the heel. So when I parry, I'm walking like what I call a duck. Take a step like a duck, which leans me a little, not leans me, twists me a little bit to the right. Take a step with that left foot, that toe points the other way. Flip the hands, parry, and then punch. So the 2 parry steps, the toes actually point a little out to the side. If you're not doing that, don't sweat it. I don't even think I brought it up in class until today. It'll come in time. If you just want to study parry, parry, walking forward, that's enough, because brush the knee is a little bit of a complicated sequence to learn if you're not used to it. So if you're new to class today, don't sweat any of this. I go over these forms repeatedly. I'm going to start intermixing them more instead of doing a week of one and then a week of the other. I'm going to start intermixing them so that we have a chance to practice all 4, two sequences and both mirrors, the left and right, until we kind of get this into our mind-body memory. So don't panic if you don't get it in one session, one class. The main thing is you come and you experience it. And if you have time, practice a little bit at home, maybe 5 minutes a day. I used to joke. I used to tell my in-person classes that do okay if they do 5 hours a day. But that joke never went over big, so I stopped using it. So if you can practice 5 minutes a day, seriously, you're doing great. So let's come back to our Wuji. Soft knees, soft shoulders. centered on your feet and feeling well grounded and breathing softly. No matter how soft your body is, no matter how relaxed the shoulders are, it's amazing that you can relax them a little bit more. And then you can relax them even a little bit more. You can relax your hips a little bit more. It's amazing. There's no end to it. So let's open and close. Brush the knee. Bring your weight to your left foot. Left hand goes out forward and you're staring at the palm. You turn to the right and step out with the right foot touching the heel and the toe. Bring your weight down on the right foot as the right hand sort of drops down to your side. The left hand has been coming in towards your face and then out over the knee that whole time. And you're pushing your weight onto the right foot, coming up on the left toe. Correct that left foot so it points in the same direction. As you come back on that left heel, play the lute. The palms face each other, and they just pass each other. Your weight's on the left foot, your right toe's in the air. Turn your right toe out so you can walk like a duck. Turn the palms up and down instead of sideways and parry. Step to the left foot and parry. And punch. We haven't talked punch. Punch is when you make a fist and you bring one across the wrist of the other. So we parry, parry, punch. Brush the knee, play the lute, parry, parry, punch. Let's do that again. Open and close. Brush the knee. Step out to the right. Weights to the right foot. Correct the left foot and play the lute. Parry left under right. Take a step and parry right under left. Take another step and the left hand goes over the right hand for a punch. It's not aggressive, it's just a light, bring the fists across each other. And that's your punch. One nice thing about these forms is there is no perfect to it. If you are not doing it unsafe, if you are in balance, if you're following the other guidelines, you're doing Tai Chi. If you're doing your punch and you have an open hand, there's no Tai Chi police that are going to come by and put you away. But you can always improve the form. So it's okay if you're doing something wrong, and as long as you're not being unsafe. But with a few more classes, we just try to keep improving the form. So find your Wuji. Hands at heart center. Open and close. Brush the knee. Step out with the right foot and brush the left hand over the right. Correct the left foot. Play the lute. My right hand has gone high. So now for the parry, my left hand is going under the right hand. I'm taking a step with the left foot. My right hand is going under the left hand. Left fist punches over right. And I come back on the left foot. As I come back on the left foot, my palms face away from me and I pull back. So it's a punch and a pull back. Again, we're doing a little rocking on the foot, notice. This whole movement is just rocking on the feet one by one. As I pull back, my right toe comes in the air. So that rocking motion plays a role throughout this whole sequence. Now I'm going to push that right toe down to the floor, and these hands with the palms facing away are going to shove down a little bit and up a little bit as I come up on the left toe. So we punch, pull back, and push. Again, rocking. I'm going to go through it and not talk about the upper body, just talk about the feet. So if you get some of the upper body wrong because I'm not describing it, don't worry about it. Let's just talk about the feet for a minute. Open and close. Weight comes to the left foot. Step out with the right, heel, toe. Left foot, you come up on the heel, the toe a little bit. Correct the foot, come back on the heel. Play the lute. The right toe is in the air. Turn it out so you can walk like a duck as you parry. Take a step with the left foot. The left toe is pointed out a little bit and you parry. Right toe is pointed forward in a step and you punch. Come back on the left foot. The right toe comes up as you pull back. Go down on the right toe, lift up on the left heel as you push the mountain. The feet are kind of a little bit of a dance in this sequence. Let's get to push the mountain and then talk about the closing. So open and close, brush the knee, step out to the right, play the lute, do your little duck walk as you parry, punch, pull back, push the mountain. Now at the end of push the mountain, you're up on your left toe. And this will tell you whether you've been taking too big of a steps or not. Because while that left heel is in the air, just pivot on the left toe until you come back forward. Now pivot on the right heel, bring that toe around. And your feet should be somewhat close to the Wuji pattern, and the hands are back at heart center. So if you've been taking small steps as you pivot on the left toe and the right heel, then they're reasonably close together. If you've been taking big steps, then you're going to find out, oh man, my feet are too far apart. I've been taking too big of a step. So let's do that again. Open and close, brush the knee, play the lute, parry one hand under the other, take a step, parry the opposite hands, punch, draw back, that front toe is in the air, push the mountain, the left heel comes up in the air, pivot on the left toe, pivot on the right heel, open and close. Nice. Very good. If you've been doing single whip with me, you know it's a little easier than brush the knee. Brush the knee is a little bit more challenging. But it all starts to meld after a few practices. Those of you who have been practicing at home for 5 minutes a day probably are starting to feel more of mind-body memory without having to be told the steps. But if you're not, that's okay. Just come to class. You never have to practice between classes. You can just come and work in class with us. Many people do. So let's find our Wuji. We're going to do commencement this time. Now, to find your Wuji, the feet are about hips width apart, maybe a little wider. Your knees are soft. Your shoulders are soft and your hands are sort of draped. You are standing tall though. This is active relaxation. You are actually relaxing in your body, even though you're putting energy in your body to stand up. But you're keeping a nice straight posture. You're not leaning over. Your weight is balanced in the center between your feet. So for commencement, we inhale and the arms come up. Let them flow down through that thick fog as you sink in the knees a little bit. The hands come toward your belly button or your dantian. They come up your chest as your weight's going to the right foot. Step out with the left. Bring the right foot to join. Elbows go down and it's open and close. I'm going to do brush the knee to the right this time with my back to you. See if I can make sure my feet are visible in the image. I think I'm good there. So open and close. So brush the knee. Weight goes to your left foot. Left hand goes forward. You're looking at the palm. Turn to the right and step out. And that palm comes in and pushes out over your right knee. As you come up on your left toe, correct that back foot. Bring the weight onto the back foot and play the lute as your right toe comes up in the air. Take a step on your right foot as you parry, left under right hand. Take a step with the left foot as you parry the right under the left. Take another step with the toe pointed forward as you punch. Draw back, weight's going to the left foot, the right toe is in the air. Push forward, come up on that left toe. As you push the mountain, pivot on that left toe, pivot on the right heel, and then open and close. And when you're practicing, at the end of your sequence, when you're finished for the day, the arms just go forward and the hands float down. That's just a closing sequence. Some people like to do the formal close. Some people like to do just the hands down the center of the chest. Sort of an energy grab and push down. Some people like that. Some people just like the rotating down. It's nice to have closure, to psychologically tell your mind that I'm finished with my practice for the day. So let's come seated. I don't know if you guys are aware why I was stepping around a space here, but just as class started, my 100-pound chocolate lab came in and laid down right here. So I've been dancing around him a bit. Sorry if it looked a little awkward. I was trying not to step on him. I know I could have kicked him out, but he likes to be in the room with me. What can I say? He's a good dog. I don't like to displease him. He's almost a perfect dog. Okay, let's okay. Okay. Just as a summary, to remind you, Tai Chi is a slow, mindful movement practice. In class, we go reasonably slowly, but in your practice at home, once you finally get the mechanics down on a form, go slower. And you don't have to study all the forms simultaneously. You can do one a week. Just choose play the lute, and for 1 week, play the lute. You know, you don't have to study everything all at once. There's no exams, no midterm, no final. The class time is for presenting information to you and guiding you through the forms and the sequence. Hopefully you'll use the practice outside of class to really form that more sturdy into your mind-body memory. Even, as I've mentioned several times, even 5 minutes a day will make a major difference, and you'll be surprised at the benefits. I recommend having music with your practice, or sounds, nature sounds, whatever you find relaxing. You know, if recording of your dog snoring is relaxing, you use it. Just make sure that the music promotes you relaxing into your form. Some people do it in silence. Not me. I actually need music. It really affects my mindset. Tells me it's time to practice too. So thank you for coming today. Thank you for sharing some of your day with me. If you've had some experiences on Get Set Up that you'd love to share, please. Social media is the way people communicate these days. So share your experiences on Get Set on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. And if you want, you don't even have to go on those social media platforms. You can just email Liz. Liz@getsetup.io is our social media person, and she will take your experience and blog about it and share it with other people. But yeah, if you've had a positive benefit from any class or the overall experience of Get Set Up, please let Liz know. Some related classes you might want to try are Qigong and Slow Flow Yoga. Those are the two I highly recommend as being related to my classes. But then again, my classes are related to my classes too. So if you haven't tried Tai Chi Shibashi, please do. It is Tai Chi, but the sequence is not as flowing. The logic of Shibashi is a design of 18 exercises that make us healthier. So we just come together, we do a few warm-ups, and I lead you through these 18 exercises, and it makes us move. It's gentle, it's easy, it's in my opinion, it's somewhat enjoyable. I have fun doing it, and I feel so much better after doing it. So if you haven't tried Shibashi, come give it a try. Also, Kundalini Yoga. this is another therapeutic practice. It's not the type of yoga that most people relate to going to the gym. Kundalini is a totally different style of yoga. It's from the Punjabi region of India, and it was developed as a technology to make us healthier. It's therapeutic. So some of the movements, some of the asanas and exercises are a little unusual because we're using them to try to get in and like massage the kidneys or massage your adrenal glands or work your nervous system. It strengthens us. It makes our body work healthier. Some of the movements are a little silly, but that's because we're trying to accomplish certain things in the body with it. So if you've never done yoga, or if you've never done this sort of yoga, please come to one of my Kundalini yoga classes. You can do it in a chair or you can do it in a mat. The class will be primarily taught for chair, but if you will tell me at this first class that you plan to use a mat or you're going to switch back and forth between mat and chair, I will make sure that I give both descriptions for each one of the exercises. I often in my live classes, face to face, in person, whatever you want to call them, I usually have a mixture of mat and chair. Class notes will come out to you this evening, and I will detail one of the forms that we practiced today to give you the words and description to help you in your home practice. Keep all of my class notes, and eventually you'll have a full set of all the forms in this Sung Style 12. I'll also make a suggestion of 3 classes that you might want to try on Zoom. And then there's going to be a button called Give Feedback. And even if you've given feedback 5 times for my class, please give it a 6th time, especially if you're one of those people who are prone to want to click that 5th star. Every time you give feedback, that number of stars goes into a score that evaluates my class and evaluates me. So if you want more Tai Chi, if you want more Tai Chi for beginners or more Tai Chi Shibashi, if you want more of this sort of thing, then you need to let the people know by giving a good score for the session. And if you'll give a good score to me, I may be the one teaching it to you then. And put a comment in there. If you are wanting more Shibashi, mention it. If you want more beginners, I'm working on another beginner set that will start maybe in a month or so. So if you want different type of sequences, I'm actually thinking of doing a Yang style 8 that you guys would enjoy, I think. But if you want that sort of transition, please put it in a comment because they are read and they are evaluated. If there's other improvements that get set up that you would like, please put it here. Maybe you've got an idea that we've never thought of, or maybe a class maybe you want a class on skydiving. Let us know. They'll take it to heart. And if enough people want that class, they will go out and find a teacher. Now, the get set up. Yes.
Hi, this is Joe on Fran's screen. Just a question. When you do the parry, say you're parrying with your right arm, are you stepping into the parry with your right foot, or is it, or the opposite?
I got to do it to find out. Hang on a minute. Okay. When I'm parrying, my right foot is in front, and my right hand, and my left hand is the one closer to my body. As I parry left under right, I'm stepping into the right foot. As I step with the left foot, then I flip and I parry left under right hand. Right under left hand. Sorry about that. So yeah, you're parrying the other hand under the hand that you're stepping into. Does that make sense?
No, I just want to know if it was contralateral, that you're stepping into the parry.
You are stepping into the parry, but you're stepping into the right foot as you're parrying left hand under right. Then as you step on the left foot, you're parrying the right hand into the left. So yes, you are stepping into it on the same side.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
And what you'll find is when we do brush to the knee to the left, it'll be identically, but in the reverse order. Gotcha. I know that was clear as mud, wasn't it?
We just got to work on it. I thought I used to be oriented right, left, and up and down, but it's taking some re-education. Thank you.
It's amazing. After a little bit of experience, it comes to you and you stop thinking about it. That's why I had to jump up and do it just then. I actually don't remember the movements. I just do them and explain them to you as I do them. And that'll come to you too. And you'll stop thinking about it.
God willing, yes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Joe. Share with the people that you know about Get Set Up. And if you have an interest, like maybe you like chocolate labs, maybe chocolate labs who come in and lay on classroom floors, host an interest group, and they'll Get Set Up will advertise that there's an interest group on chocolate labs who enters schoolroom floors, and other people who share that interest will come and you guys can get to talk about it. I'll have to show up because I definitely have a chocolate lab who lays in the middle of my classroom. So anything that you have an interest in, recommend it. And they'll see if other people want to share it. And all the thing you have to do is click the button, open the class, and introduce it, and then let the conversation flow. We partner with different entities, and that's how I assume that's how the finances of Get Set Up works. So if you're a member of an organization, government, community, senior living, assisted care, send us that contact information and we'll reach out to them to see if we can partner with them. I know 2 of the big contracts right now are with the state of Michigan and the state of New York. This is what's bringing this to us with no advertising and free of charge. Do request the session recording if you want to practice between classes. It's a great way to practice if you've got the time. Just email help@getsetup.io and tell them, give them the contact information for people we should reach out to, request the session recording, suggest a class, suggest an interest group that you'd care to lead. Help is there for you to help you. And that is that. Okay, any other questions at this point?
You're using a different camera than what we're looking at.
And that question was what? What was the question?
You're not in our view.
I didn't switch the camera back. See, I've got 2 cameras active right now, and I need to remember to switch them back and forth. So please call me on it when I forget. The other one is better for standing farther back, and this one is better for being up close. So
this is better for seeing.
Now we can see your baby on the floor.
Can you see him?
Yeah.
How much of it? Oh, that's his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's like 100 pounds. The biggest, his name is Koda. It's an Indian word that means little bear. And he looks like a little bear, but he is the friendliest dog I have ever seen in my life. I don't think you could hit him with a 2x4 and make him angry. He just does. And if he thinks he's displeased you, he gets upset. He was my foster. I kept him and I was finding him a home. I was supposed to have him like 2 weeks and set him up with his new home, because as a foster, you get to decide where he goes. And we have so many people waiting that we turn him around in 2 weeks. Well, he had heartworms and we were having trouble distinguishing if he really had them or if it was a false positive. Next thing you know, the boy's been with me 6 months. Well, after 6 months, he's not going anywhere. He's part of the family. So
Exactly.
we put him through the heartworm test. He's had no bad effect from heartworms, it seems. And put him through a couple other minor surgeries. Now he's just part of the family. He's more like furniture. He just lays around most of the time. Never had an accident. Never complained about anything, except he hates to be cuddled too much. It's like, why are you hugging me? He's a great dog. And I'm not trying to find him a new home, people. He's staying here. Sounds like I'm trying to sell him, but I'm not. But if you are in the market for a dog, I will tell you Labrador retrievers, or if you're anywhere near Florida, Florida's Labrador Rescue is unbelievably good. Trouble is they're running out of dogs. They have more people waiting for dogs than they have dogs. Isn't that wonderful? Now, I also take rescues from the Doberman Rescue Ranch of Florida, and they have more dogs than they have people. So if you like Dobermans, please contact the Doberman Rescue Ranch, because they do great, great work. And if you're ever in the Orlando area, we have an agency called Pet Rescue by Judy. I do volunteer work for them. I do nursing home visits, and they do great work. So now that I've done, I don't think I'm supposed to market or advertise. So I apologize for doing that, but it was for a good cause. So.
So can I share the same story with you?
Yes.
We have a large beagle who was raised on a farm in Central Florida. He had no restrictions and running around. Well, we fostered him for my son and daughter-in-law living up in Brooklyn at the time. and he was staying with us. And when I first saw him, I looked at his eyes and I said, there is a human being stuck in that dog's body wanting to get out. They ended up not taking him because he was too boisterous for a 14-story apartment in Brooklyn. We ended up keeping him, and he has been the love of our lives. He must be with us. He has separation anxiety when we're out of the house. And I must tell you, I understand exactly what you're talking about. He is literally part of the family and keeps us close to us and doesn't let us out of his sight. And he is a wonderful, wonderful 5-year-old.
You know, decades ago, I purchased dogs from breeders, and I stopped doing that, and I started adopting rescues quite some time ago. And I've never had a rescue dog that was a bad dog. Every one of my rescue dogs were like great dogs. I don't know if they appreciate that they finally got a good place, or I'd like to think that's what it is. But these dogs who have been rescued from bad situations, they just work out so well. Maybe I need to do an interest group on people who rescue dogs. I think I would enjoy leading that one.
So too. We would
Maybe I
love
should.
it.
Well, Judy, maybe you could host it.
I know. I'm out of here. You guys have a great day.
Okay, everybody, it is
Bye,
time to go. Take care. Thank you for coming. Hope to see you in class again soon.
See you Tuesday.